For being part of our group. Thanks for sharing and thank you for making such a huge difference in people's lives. As you know, my wife and I are the co-founders of the successandmoneyfoundation.org, and we want to help you get where you need to go. All of you are put on this earth and you're here on this earth for a purpose. You got to figure out what that purpose is. There's tons of purposes, little purposes, big purposes, all kinds of purposes. Now, one of the purposes that is my purpose is to help you have a better life. And that's why my wife and I created the successandmoneyfoundation.org. As a nonprofit educational foundation, our goal is to help you, your family, and friends to have a better life. And we do that by providing free success and money classes for anyone, anywhere. Now, this one that we want to talk about is creating your wealth. We want you to create your wealth. We want you to be in a better position. So many people spend all their time and energy just trying to survive. We don't want you to survive. We want you to thrive. Now, as a result, we're going to have some fun here and we're going to be talking in depth about how you use and have access to all these wonderful tools that we have at the successandmoneyfoundation.org. So as we get started with that, what we're going to do is we want to break this down so that it's so simple that you can do this on the back of an envelope. And so what we're going to ask you to do is you're going to learn how to be able to create the 7 habits, the 7 steps, and it's got to fit on the back of an envelope. Number 2 is that we want you to be able to diagram in detail on one piece of paper your financial freedom plan and your creating wealth plan. All right. And then number 3 is you're going to manage all that on one piece of paper. It's got to be so simple that you can explain it on the back of an envelope. Number 2, your detailed plan, your financial freedom plan, and your creating wealth plan need to fit on one piece of paper, 2 sides. And number 3 is you need to be able to manage your money on one piece of paper. Now, after that, we're going to add more and more layers, but the fundamentals are still the same. So with that in mind, we're going to go through what they are. And so really what I want you to do is on the envelope, all of you, I want you to go grab an envelope or a simple piece of paper because I want you to be able to do this. This can fit on a 3x5 card. People say, well, what's the advice you have for me? Well, if we were sitting in an elevator and I only had, 1 minute, I'd say step number 1, you need to learn how to make more money. And number 4 is you need to get it invested. And you need to invest in Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway stock and the S&P 500. Ding, you're out. Here's your floor. You got to get out. If I had more time with them, we're sitting on a bus and I'd pull out a piece of paper and say, okay, well, there are 7 steps. So I'm going to go through these 7 steps, but I want you to write them down because I want you to be able to teach this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over and we're going to go to one piece of paper. And on that side, we're going to flip it back and forth. And then we're going to start managing it on one piece of paper as well. But number 1, and this is really key, is we need to teach you how to make more money. More money. That's crucial. We need to make more money. Number 2, we need to manage it on one piece of paper. We're going to separate it where we want it to go, but we want to be able to manage it on one piece of paper. Number 3, we want you to give. We want you to be able to give some of that money away to individuals, to churches and charities. We want you to give. Number 4 is to automatically invest. Number 4 is to automatically invest. This is the crucial part. And then number 5 is to save and spend. So the first 5 will help you become financially free, but they're not going to get you there. You've got to add number 6 and number 7. Number 6 is that we need to add real estate and business. We need to add real estate and business. And then number 7 is the wealth formula. So all of you should have that on to an envelope. It's just that simple. We need to make more money. We need to be able to take that money and manage it. We want to manage it on one piece of paper. What are you going to manage? We're going to manage our giving, we're going to manage our investing, and we're going to manage our saving and spending. Then we're going to add and make more money in number 6 by adding real estate and business. And then number 7 is the wealth formula. So that's on the back of your envelope. Good. You finished, you're on the bus, you're getting off the bus, and you taught somebody something very simple. The key, though, if you only had a few minutes with them, is they've got to learn how to do number 1 and number 4. You got to do number 1 and number 4. That's the crucial part. Now, with that, we need to be able to figure this out on one piece of paper. Now, there's two sides to this paper. We have our financial freedom side. So on one is financial freedom. Hold on a second. I'm going to see if I can make that pen just a little bit smaller. Number 1. Okay. So on this one, this side is our financial freedom. This is our financial freedom. Now, when we talk about financial freedom, number 1 is to make more money. Now, what we've got to do with that is we need to get just a little bit more aggressive, and we have to figure out how to make more money. Now, how do you make more money? Well, right now, you have a funnel. You have kind of this funnel, and this funnel goes through these 7 steps. That's your funnel. You have money coming in from your job right here. Some of you have money coming in from your side hustle. Okay. So some of that's where you're bringing in your money is through those pieces. But what we need to do is on step number 1, most of you have money coming in from a job and you're making 1x. I mean, that could be 1,000, that could be 5,000, that could be whatever. You're making 1x. We need a side hustle so we can add an additional 1x. We need to be able to solve bigger problems. And if we can solve bigger problems, we can add value and we can study successful people. We can add another X. So right now at the top of your funnel, you've got money coming in, but most of you only have 1X going in there. That's not enough. We need 1 plus 1 plus 1. We need 3X. We need to figure out how to get more money going into the top of that funnel. That is the crucial part of what we're talking about. We've got to get more money going into that funnel. Most people only have this one piece right here, and it just won't work. Now, when your money comes into that funnel, what happens? Well, it goes down into number 2. We need to manage it. Most of you people aren't managing your money. It's just running wherever. We need to put your money on a mission. We need to separate it, and it's got to fit on one piece of paper, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But that one piece of paper, you can find that in when we go into our back into the site. Okay, so where does that work? How are you going to manage your money on one piece of paper? Well, we're going to take you here. Let's go back in here into the site. And now most of you should be able to jump into the Success and Money right here. All right, so now when you come here, what we're going to do is we're going to manage your money on one piece of paper. Let me show you where that's at. So when you come into the successandmoneyfoundation.org, what we want you to do is after you've logged in, you're going to go to courses, and then you're going to come down here to number 2C. 2C. So there's the courses, and then we want you to download your money tracker and your 7 steps to wealth. Now, when you click on that, it's going to pull up this page right here, and this is where you're going to click. And guess what? We're going to give you some money for your investment account. When you go through and go into more detail, we're going to teach you how this money tracker works in detail, and we're going to give you some money just for reviewing the 7 steps, as you can see how all that works. Now, what you're going to do is you're simply going to click here to download. And then what happens is you're going to come here, and this is kind of important of what you need to do. Make sure you can see all that. You're going to come here to the file, and you're going to make a copy. You're going to make a copy. And then when you make that copy, you're going to save it into your own little system. So you're going to make a copy, and then you're going to put a new name on it, and then it'll be available for you. Now, when we do this, this is what it looks like. Now, the reason this is so important is step number 2 is we want you to be able to manage this money all on one piece of paper. manage it on one piece of paper. So I'm just going to go through this really quickly so you can see how this all works. So number one, you're going to put your money in. This money in, money out at the very top. But then you're going to have my income, my spouse's income, my side hustle, whatever that is, you're going to put right here. Number two is you're going to separate it. Number three, you're going to give some of it away. I don't care who you give it to. I don't really care how much money you give to. I want you to give time and energy, but I want you to be a giver. Tony Robbins says that the secret to living is giving. So we want you to be a giver. Number four, most important part is to number four is to automatically, sometimes you're going to have to do it manually. You're going to get money into your long-term investment accounts. This is it, putting money into your investment accounts and into your retirement accounts, your 401ks. Then number five is to save and spend. Your save and spend is broken up. These are fixed things. These are things that are fixed that you're going to be doing. And this is really simplified, but you can see that right now I've got a mortgage and I got some debt. We want you to get out of debt. There's nothing wrong with smart debt. There's a lot wrong with stupid debt. So we want to fix that so we don't have stupid debt. So that's part of what we're going to do. And then we're going to look at our variable expenses right there. So variable, this is where we work on a thermometer system. And so what we do is all the money in, all the money out has to equal. And you can see that's that number right down there at the bottom on line number 39. And then we take each of these little sections right here and it builds a thermometer. Guess what? The thermometers are going down. It's a race. It's a race to run out of month before you run out of money. So let's say you've got right up here, dad's money, mom's money, and we don't care where they go. You know, most divorces happen not because of the lack of money. They happen because the husband and wife, the spouse and the kids are not on the same plan. You're not in the same rowboat. You're rowing different places. If you'll get on the same plan, then that will work. Be lost, but be lost together. You know, figure out the plan together. So right here, you say, well, you know, and again, I don't care how you spell it. I don't care if it's cash. I don't care if it's a credit card or a check. We don't really care. All I know is that you've spent it and it's gone. So let's say dad's got 350 bucks and he spends 50 of it. Okay, well, now he's down to 50 bucks. You just print this page out and then you just cross this off. And let's say that he spends another 50 bucks and now he's down here to the 250 right there. Now, if he's at 250 and it is the 18th of the month, well, we're in trouble. We're in trouble because we're spending our money too fast. Okay, we're spending our money too fast. Now, if it's not that, if it is, again, we're just going to show you this. If we're at 250 right here, but it happens to be the 28th of the month right here, then our money's going faster, is going slower than our month. We want to run out of month before we run out of money. Most of you don't know where you are, and that's by design. The banks don't want you to know. This is our system for doing that. So your month is going down. How fast is it going compared to how much money you have left? So your thermometer is going down. It's the 28th of the month, and I've got 250 bucks in there. Okay, hey, we got a little extra time. We can go spend another $50. I've still got money available to go spend. And you simply go spend it. I don't care how you spend it, but it's just gone. Now, what's interesting about how we've created this is that every month has 35 days. So we're pacing you so that you have a little leeway at the end there. So that's how that part works. Now, this is crucial. And this is the first part of your step number 2, which is to manage your money on one piece of paper. Now, when we talk about the next pieces on here, step number 6 that we talked about was we need to add real estate. We need to add businesses. We need to take and make extra money. So here's our real estate and our small businesses. We got income, expenses, and that is a profit. Now, that is all going to flow. All this extra money we make in step 6 is all going to flow to number 7. It's all going to flow to number 7. You're going to live on this side right here. You're going to live on this side right here. This side down here, number 6 and 7, is where you're going to create your wealth. Now, you need to be wealthy. You need to be wealthy. With the governments of the world that can't balance the budgets, we need to make more money. We need to create systems to be able to do that. So that's number 6. Now, number 7 is the wealth formula. Now, most of you have a net worth. You just don't know how well you're doing. also, if you will go through here, you will find where the leaks are. You'll find where there's extra money available for you. Okay. And so this here is how we're going to do that. So right now, let's say that you got a house. Now this could be pesos, it could be yuan, it could be dollars, it doesn't matter. But we've got a house, we've got a car, we've got a Roth IRA, an investment account, a 401k. These are all investment accounts, and we have some savings. So we have a net worth here. Now, the real key is to get out of stupid debt. We want to get out of stupid debt. Now, I use smart debt, and my wife and I made $10 million in real estate by doing the smart debt. Most people have stupid debt. What is stupid debt? Stupid debt is credit cards. Stupid debt is any debt that you have to pay back personally, unless you make more money because of it. Okay, and I'll give you an example of that. Some of you go to school and you make a lot more money because you're going to get a degree that makes you more money. But if you go to school to be a piano teacher, which is great to learn that, but it's not going to make you more money. So don't go in debt to do it. Now, the debt part we're going to list all of our debts right here. We got a credit card number one, credit card number two, school loans, and a mortgage. Now you'll notice right here, a lot of these are at 21%, 6%. We're going to list the smallest debt first. I don't care the interest rate. I want to do the smallest debt because we're going to take the extra income that we're not spending over here and we're going to figure out how to pay off that first one. We're going to kill it. We're going to put a bullet in it. And then we're going to the next step and kill the next one. We're going to take that extra money. Right now, with what we've got on this credit card, it's going to take you 5.5 years, almost 6 years to pay this off. But if we could come over here and we could change this to $50, you can see we'll have it paid off in 2 years. If I can fix that baby up to $100, then I can pay it off in 11 months. If I can figure out how to flip a little deal or make some extra money on a side hustle or something else, and I can get this up to $250, well, I can have that paid off in 4 months. So what our goal is to get that paid off. So that means I got to go find $250 over here. Well, the first thing it is, I'm probably just going to do a little side hustle and make that extra money. Let's get another $250 up here. And then let's go down here and let's go change our mortgage here from 25 to 250. And that leaves us, we still got $25 to be able to do. So we only had to make 225 right here. Okay, now our money in equals our money out. Money in equals our money out. So now we are starting to figure out how to get that paid off. Does that make sense? As soon as that baby's paid off, then we attack the second, we attack the third one, attack the fourth one. And the same is true here. How much money are you going to save? Well, I'm going to have this paid in 4 months. I'm going to save $689 just in interest. And if I can do that same thing on this next one, same thing. I'm going to be out of debt in 6 months. Where am I going to find another $250? Well, I'm probably going to have to go make some more money on a side hustle. That's probably the fastest way to be able to do it. Okay, I'm going to make some more money down there. And then we're going to start paying this credit card off even faster. That's got to come into right here. All right. Let's see, that number only needs to be 450. All right, money in, money out. Let's see if I made a mistake here. How much is it? Oh, it's $500. I got to change. I'm going to make an extra $500 here. And then I'm going to change these two to 250 and 250. All right. So that kind of gives you an idea of what you got to do. Actually, I only have to make $425. See, part of this is having fun and doodling back and forth and figuring it all out. Money in equals money out. Now I got a plan. So this is my plan right here. So now I'm going to work on these two, and then I'm going to take that extra $500 and I'm going to roll it to this one. So instead of $50, I'm going to now, after I get these first two paid off, I'm going to come and pay off the next one. Well, I'm going to pay that off in the next 5 months. You could be out of debt on these things in a matter of months. That's 10 months, 15 months, and then we're going to attack the last one. Now, this is how you're going to manage your money on one piece of paper. That's step number 2. Here's the things that are goals for the month that we want to be able to do. And there's also places from action plans and other things as you do this. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to print it And guess what? You and your spouse are going to work on this together. So step number 2 is to manage your money on one piece of paper. We're going to separate it into the different groups and we're going to start managing it on one piece of paper. So on your one page is we're putting our detail, and then another page we're going to literally manage our money on one piece of paper. Now we're going to add all kinds of extra pieces on top of that, but that's the simplicity of how we get started. Now, once we've got that managing the money on one piece of paper, what else are we going to do? We need to give some money away. We need to be able to give some money away. So we're going to give. Now, you can give to churches, charities, you can give to all kinds of organizations, but the secret to living is giving. Give your time, give your energy, whatever it is, you need to be able to give some of that away. Now, number 4 is crucial. So this is the automatically invest. Now, when we talk about number 4, what I want to do is I'm going to go down here and just show you what number 4 looks like, because that's why this is so important. Number 4 is to automatically invest. Okay, so number 4. Now, when you're automatically investing, there are 2 ways that you can do that. You can put that into a personal investment account, or you can put it into a retirement account. And the difference is how you get taxed on it. Okay, so I'm going to show you the way it is in America. But most of you, wherever you live, you're doing it one way or the other. But in America, there are retirement accounts that we have. Now, there's 2 kinds. There are the ones that you get taxed up front. We don't really like those as much as we like the other ones. Here's, in my opinion, the very best one is the Roth IRA. The Roth IRA. Now, the beauty of that is you don't get a tax break today, but guess what? You pay no taxes when you take the money out. All I'm really worried about is when I take it out. When I take it out, do I have to pay any taxes? There's no taxes. You don't get a tax break today, but there's no taxes on it. The second one is many of you around the world have an IRA, or an individual retirement account. You have to pay taxes, yes, taxes when you retire, which I don't really like. And then number 3 is the 401k. And you yes on taxes when you pull it out. The benefit of this one though is that most places that you're working as a job, if they have that, for every dollar that you put in, they're going to put in $1. So let's say that you made $1,000 and they're going to say, well, we're going to give you that's $1,000 a month. We're going to give up to 3% of that. Okay, so that's going to be $30. So they're going to put in 30. You have to put in 30 and they put in 30. So that equals, you're going to have $60 there. So basically you're doubling your money. Okay. So in order of importance, if somebody's going to give you money, that's very important to make sure that we fund that. Number 2 is I don't want to pay taxes on this stuff. So the next one is going to be our tax-free account. And then number 3 is going to be this one right there, the IRA. And then of course you want to be able to put stuff over here into your personal account as well. That's probably a 2 to a 2.5 or so. Okay. Now, when you're doing your investing, this is really crucial. And this is where so many people get so lost. You're going to loan or own. You're going to loan or you're going to own. Okay. That's crucial right here. Now, some of you are saying, well, where am I going to learn more about this part right here? So what I want to do is I want to take you to the website itself here. So where I can show you some wonderful things. So when you come here to courses, one of the great places is my books. And my books are free. They're available to you. So here's the books right here. And so if you want to learn the fastest way, you can go here to the 7 Habits, the 7 Secrets book. We're going to click on download it. You can get a hard copy if you go to Amazon. And I'm just going to pull it up here to the table of contents. And I'll just tell you where it is right here. So here is the same steps. There's the steps to financial freedom and the 7 steps to wealth. And you can see that when you come here into the book, I'll make that bigger so you can see it easier. So you can see where you're going to find this stuff right in the book. So when we talked about investing, here's your automatically investing, and there's all kinds of stuff on there. What investment accounts do you use? They go into more detail, loan versus own, understanding value, understanding the rule of 72, interest rates that are different percentages and stuff like that. So that is all part of that one right there. And you have access to go into great detail on that. The other thing is the courses. Now, one of the things we do is we're giving you money for your investment account by simply going to these classes. And you can earn money when you watch the Share the Wealth and Win. You can share your link, and you can earn money when you share your link with other people and they watch Share the Wealth and Win. We also give money out every Thursday to our top enrollers and top people going to class. And so this one right here, make more money by sharing your link. Well, where is that? Well, if you simply click on it, it will take you right here, and you can share your link by simply copying here and then texting it to them, or put it right here and this will put it on your clipboard. Or you can actually, if you're on your phone, you can say text here, it'll put your link right on your phone and you can text it out. In addition to that, you can create your own QR code. You simply click right here and it will send you, email you your own QR code. So you can just show them your QR code and then friends and family can sign up that way. In addition, you can come over here under your name and you can come over here to your referral link, and your link and everything will be right there as well. So the other part is that you can earn money. And now you'll notice that all this stuff really fits into the 7 habits. And so you can make money when you go through the 7 habits course. Literally, we're going to give you money to go through that course. If you're a teacher, or a parent, you're doing homeschool or whatever, and you want to teach this to your kids, you can go right here and all the slides, so you can go through slide by slide. The videos are there. There's even quizzes there. So you can use this as a school. You can use this as a home, if you're doing homeschooling or just as a parent. Then these two right here really fit on step 6 and 7, which is business and real estate. Business and real estate, we're giving you money to go through those classes. And when you want to get through the advanced investor classes, you're going to go right here. But you'll notice here that we're giving you money to go through these different classes. But if you come down here to the courses, I want to make sure that you understand where you have access to all of this great material. And so basically it's going to follow the 7 habits. And here are some classes here for kids. Money Made Easy. We want to make this simple. Successful people have figured out how to make it so simple that anybody can see it and understand it. We're big Warren Buffett fans. Okay. A lot of the money we give away is because we invested in Berkshire Hathaway stock and we're giving that stock away. Money Made Easy for kids, for children, for teens, for young adults and adults. Then step number 1 is to make more money. You got to make more money. Well, where do you do that? Well, you've got to follow successful people. You guys are watching, well, too many people are watching stupid things on social media. Now, here's what's interesting about social media. If you are watching TikTok specifically, when you're watching a video on some subject, they know what that subject is, and they're feeding you more videos on that subject, which is amazing. If you are watching videos on Steve Jobs, it will put more videos to you on Steve Jobs. If you're following Tony Robbins, it'll push you a lot more. Whereas Facebook or something else or Instagram, you're following somebody like Kim Kardashian and whatever she says they're watching, that's dying. Now it's what's in it for you and what are you listening to? So I want you to go through this stuff. This is step 1, make more money. We want to 2x your income. We want to 3x your income. You do that by studying successful people and then do what they do. You should be watching successful pieces every day, every day. And we got some wonderful things. Casey Boz, a good friend of mine, and he's done all these wonderful classes. We follow Berkshire. We follow Tony, Dave Ramsey. We love all these guys. And a lot of these are already... A lot of these videos are already on YouTube. All we do is give you credit for them. Musk, Gates, Robert Kiyosaki, who I've shared the stage with Robert Allen. And these are successful people. Many of you need to learn about STEM and how to make more money. And STEM is really high tech, high tech. And so here's some people we recommend that you do. Success and motivation. Study successful people. So this is Millionaire Psychology by Kurt Mortensen. Wonderful classes by Robert Allen. Incredible guy. If you want to be successful, study successful people, then do what they do. Personal development. Here's Tony's priming thing that he does. Highly recommend that you listen to that. And I do it every day. 15 minutes to get your brain right. The Blue Vase is a wonderful program. Robert Allen has done that one, plus the 4 MAPS. A lot of these are on YouTube. All we're doing is giving you credit for watching them. Think and Grow Rich, the 7 Habits, The Magic of Thinking Big, Personal Finance. 1 through 5 is all about personal finance. Step 1 through 5 is all about personal finance. And so we got some wonderful classes there. We need to make more money. Well, how do you make more money? Well, you go through it right here. This is where you're going to learn that right here. Now, step number 6 is you need to make more money with your small business and your real estate. Step 6, make more money with small business and real estate. Where are you going to learn that? Well, my companies have done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in sales. Where did I learn that? Well, I learned it from Jay Abraham for one. I learned it from Robert Allen. It was the greatest mentor that I've had as far as really multiplying. I used to work with Michael Gerber. They hired me when I was in my late 20s. We hired Michael Gerber to work with me because I became the president of our company. And I took our company from $7 million a year to $35 million a year by simplifying and multiplying. Small business right here. This is a wonderful class by Steve Gibson. And Steve Gibson is the creator of the program Academy for Creating Enterprise. And he's also got the 25 rules of thumb. If you want to take your small side hustle into a big business, multiply that business. Step 6, we got to do that with real estate. Okay. Now, money courses. These money courses are great. These are a little bit more like personal finance. But in addition to that, this is all step 6, multiple streams of income. Robert Allen, great, wonderful man. I worked with him for decades. And so multiple streams of income. Step 6, this is how we're going to create our wealth. 1 Minute Millionaire, wealth with low risk. Wonderful stuff. You want to learn how the economy works? Well, it's right here. Ray Dalio. I know Ray Dalio. I talked to Ray Dalio about the foundation. He says, great, this is wonderful. Keep it up. Very, very, very good. Crypto is part of your assets. So that's something you can learn about. And of course, multiple streams of internet income. Khan Academy. We love Sal Khan. He's very academic. So if you want to learn the academic side, go to Khan Academy. That's where you're going to learn the academic side. We are more on the practical, making it do it. Here's the 90-day challenge. You want to make some money? Well, your goal is to do this in short order, as low as 90 days. And there's some great stuff there. In your business, everybody needs to sell. You're all selling something. Even if it's just yourself, all of you are persuading. This is where you're going to learn how to do that, is to be able to increase your sales, which is all part of step number 6. Real estate. And again, real estate is a big part of that. Real estate's a massive part of that. My favorite book of all time is The Road to Wealth. This is a true story about how Robert Allen and I and Dr. Blaine Lee went to unemployment line. And we took people out of an unemployment line and we taught them about how to make money. They had to make $5,000 in 90 days. And it's the true story of what happened to them. And it's a wonderful, wonderful story. Robert Allen has also helped us with the real estate launch. Mark Harrelson on the How to Wake Up Financial Genius, first book I read when I was in college. Here's more on your business with referrals. Some of you are making money with direct marketing or direct selling, network marketing. And then number 7 is all about the wealth formula. So we are big, big Warren Buffett fans. And then of course we've got stuff especially for women. Good friend Colette, there's wonderful material over there. Health is your wealth. Warner Berger is one of the oldest individuals that's ever climbed all 7 of the tallest mountains in the world. And then of course, John Lee, this is a brand new one that we're just introducing. John Lee's a great friend of ours. And he's given us all this wonderful material to help you with your real estate. And that's brand new. And then of course, we've got more STEM classes and stuff like that. All right. So that is all part of the second step. So Step one, you got to be successful, you need to study successful people. Number two, you need to go to class, go to class, go to class. You're going to learn, earn, and return. Those are your pieces right there. Okay, that's kind of the long way around the mountain. But let's get back to where we're at. Now, we are down here in automatically invest. You're in automatically invest. Where are you going to learn about automatically investing? Well, again, you're going to come here. The big piece right here is for you to come here to courses. And right here, you're going to learn that really deep right here in the Young Investor Society. You're going to learn that when you go through these additional classes. You're going to learn that from the books. So you can come here to the free books and stuff like that. That's really where you're going to learn that. But let's talk a little bit about this part right here. Let's talk about the loan versus own. Now, you're going to loan money to people. When you put money into your checking account, you're loaning money. You're loaning money to the bank. Guess what? They're not going to pay anything. So if you put money into your checking or savings, they're going to pay you zero. They're going to pay you 0%. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to take that money and they're going to reloan it out on an automobile. Where I'm just show you how crazy this is, on an auto or a credit card. And they're gonna loan it back out at 6% or even 21%. Now, if you got lucky and you put it into a CD or I'm going to call it a CD, a certificate of deposit, which means you got to leave it there for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you might make between 1 and 4%. But this is the rule of 72. This is why the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Rule of 72. If you are making 1%, 1 times 72 equals 72. It takes 72 years for your savings account at 1% to double. It takes 72 years. The bank is going to take your money and they're going to go 6 times 12 equals 72. It's going to take 12 years for them to double their money when they loan it out on cars. It's going to take, on a 21%, it's going to take 3 years equals 72. They're going to take your money out of your checking account, out of your savings account. They're going to take your money at zero, which will never, 0 times 72, never, never doubles, ever. They're going to take your money right there out of your bank account, out of your back pocket, and they're going to loan it back to you on your credit card. And they're going to charge 21%, and they're going to double their money in 3.4 years. The reason the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer is because the rich do different things. And the biggest one is the rule of 72. So when you're talking about your loan versus own, well, when you put money into your checking account, a friend of mine at one of the credit unions says they have $500 million in savings accounts they're paying zero on, that they've taken that 500 million and they're loaning it back out for cars and credit cards and everything else. They're making a fortune off of that. So on your loan versus own, so let's go a little more deeper in the loan versus own. So checking, savings, a CD, which is a 1 to 3 month, or a T-bill, a treasury bill. Now, if you do these, you can do this with your bank. And most of the time, if you put money into your bank, if you put it into a CD, if you take that money out too soon, they're going to whack you. Their job, let's just get real here. A bank's job is not to be your friend. A bank's job is for them to make money. A bank's job is to make money for their shareholders. It's not to make your life better. And it's not an investment place. It's for them to make money and to take money out of your back pocket. You're just a cash register to them. Okay? They want your money and they provide a service, but don't, I mean, just be aware that's the way it is. All right. So you can do that. You can do this with you can do a T-bill with your investment account. And you're going to get a higher rate of return. Now, what are you going to own? Well, you're going to own stocks. you're going to own, that's the biggest one right there is stocks. You can own, these are what we'd call bonds. That's on the loan side. You can own stocks. You can own crypto. And there's a place for crypto. There's a place for crypto that you can do. You can own real estate. You can own stocks that just invest in real estate. Okay. But those are the main loan versus the own ones that you've got. Now let's talk about stocks for a second. We're still right here in number 4. Automatically invest, number 4. Now there's 4 ways that you can invest in long-term stock. Number 1, you can pick and choose. But if you pick and choose, you lose. All right. That's just my opinion. And after buying tens of millions of dollars worth of stock myself, I would have been better off to spend my time working in my business and giving it to Warren Buffett to do. Number 2, you can do a mutual fund. And we have mutual funds as part of our asset allocation, a mutual fund. This is where you're paying a manager to manage it for you. And they're going to charge you 1 to 2% money under management. Okay. Number 3 is an index. An index is the S&P 500, the 500 largest companies in America. And you say, I'm going to invest $100 in there, and they just allocate it for you. The difference is this one is a lot less fees. It's a lot less fees because they're not making any decisions. They are not picking and choosing. They are not making any, the manager's not doing that. As a result, the fees are a lot less. And number 4 is my favorite, which is Berkshire Hathaway. And that's Buffett. And the nice thing about that is there's no fees. There's a commission when you buy it, but there's no fees. So if they all did the same rate of return, if they all did the same rate of return, because of the fees, this one is number 1. Because of the fees. Now, this would be number 2, and this would be number 3. And this one, over time, you're probably going to lose. But we'll talk about that because some of you want to do that. When you get a little bit of money, you think you got to go trade it. Well, you don't. We want other people to do that. So that's why that's so important. Now, over time, this one also has had a higher rate of return. Berkshire's not only has the fees that are less, but they also have a higher rate of return. So it's done better over time. So if you're going to invest, part of your asset allocation is to say, okay, well, let's look at my asset allocation. Again, what's asset allocation? Well, part of that is to say, where's your money? Well, I've got some over here in loan, and I've got some over here in own. Well, in loan, I've got some money in my checking account. I've got some in savings. I've got some over here in some bonds, and then I've got some over here in T-bills. Over here, I've got stock. I've got a little bit in crypto. And I'm just going to use those 2 as an example. So my loan versus own, when you're young, you should have a heck of a lot more over here in the own side. So I'm going to just use the figure of 80-20 right here. This right here is the merry-go-round. This is the roller coaster, all right? This is the roller coaster. Supply and demand. We'll talk about that in just a second. Supply and demand. So if I've got 20% of my assets over here in the loan side and 80% over here, well, I'm going to leave money here in my checking account. I want to put some money over here, so I'm going to put like 10% of it. So that 20, there's 10. I'm probably not going to have anything in savings because savings doesn't make me diddly. I'm probably going to have, 5% here and then maybe 3% and 2% there. That equals that 20%. Now, stock. Let's talk about stock. The 4 ways that you're going to do stock right here. So if you're asset allocating your stock to pick and choose, well, I got 80% here. So I'm going to say on this one, I'm going to say that's going to be 80% of it. So of my 80%, I'm going to take and I'm going to put the vast majority in these 2 right there. Over time, this one has outperformed that one. So I've got 80% left right there. So I'm going to put about 60 of it. And I'm just telling you what we do. You can do whatever you want. But with my money, this is what I want you to do. I'm probably going to take 60% of it right there, and I'm probably going to take 10% of it right there. That's giving me 70. And some of you want to pick and choose. We'll take 5% of your money and take 5% of your money, and you go pick and choose and go have some fun with it. And then when you're smarter than Berkshire Hathaway, then you can change that ratio. All right. When you're smarter than Warren Buffett, we'll change the ratio. But until that time, you're not. So that's where I'm going to take that 80%. Now, crypto. Some of you guys are crypto nuts. There's three ways to do crypto. Number one is to do Bitcoin. So if my asset allocation was 80% here and so of this one, I'm sorry, I'm only going to use like 10% here, and this is going to be 70%. So if my 80%, 70s here and 10s there. Well, the vast majority of that's going to go into Bitcoin. It's the firstest with the mostest, and I would put at least 6% of it there. Ethereum, Ethereum, I'd put another three. And then all these altcoins, these fancy coins, I'm going to call this crap, the crypto crap. That is the high flyers, I don't know which way Doge is going. I don't know any of that stuff, but put a little in there. And then if you get really good at it, then change it. Well, I'm really good at the crypto side, so I'm going to change that to three, and then I'm going to change this one down to something else. All right. So does that make sense of my 10%? And then I'd do something there. I'd do maybe two there, and I move this down to five or whatever. That's asset allocation. So as you're looking at your income and your money, where's it all going? Well, this is asset allocation. All right, so just in quick review here, we are loaning versus owning. Now, your real estate, there's two ways that you can invest as you can do it as a stock or a REIT, R-E-I-T, real estate investment trust. And there are stocks and companies that just invest in real estate. Now, for our purposes, step number 6 is to add real estate and business. Um, but if you want to be passive and not do much with it, then that is where we're going to do it. And you can buy stocks. Cohen and Steers is one of the ones that we've done. That's just real estate, and they do real estate. You can loan your money to Walmart. You can loan your money over here. You got bonds where you can actually loan money to companies. You can do it to the government. You can loan money to the government. You can do it to businesses. You can do it to schools. You can do that in the bond section right there. All right, so that's quite a bit. Just as a quick recap here, that's an awful lot. As my kids would say, that's great information, Dad, but that's more information than I want to know. So that takes us step here to step number 4. Now, step number 5 right here is to save and spend. Now, that's where you go back up here to manage your money on one piece of paper. So I'm not going to talk about that one. That is all part of that manage your money on one piece of paper. Now, let's go down here to number 6. Number 6, we need to add real estate and business. Now, where are you going to learn about that stuff? Where are you going to? Because this is the wealth side. The stuff above there is not the wealth side. The stuff above there is for you to be financially independent. Our goal right here in step number 4, sorry for making you a little seasick right here. This one right number here is to grow a money tree. So if you have a Roth IRA, guess what? That's a money tree. If you have a regular IRA, that's a money tree. If you got a 401k, that's a little money tree. And so I have a whole orchard. I've got a whole orchard of different money trees. Okay, so my goal here is to grow an orchard, a whole orchard of money trees. Guess what my goal is in number 6? Number 6 is to grow multiple orchards. Okay, I want multiple orchards. I want my real estate orchards. So for business, some of you have your own business. Some of you are doing MLM. Some of you doing internet, whatever it is, but this is to create a whole another orchard Some of you are real estate. Some of you are doing fix and flip, which we did an awful lot of that. All right. This might be the fix plus flip. And some of this is long term. I'm going to show you how we made $10 million by doing that. And all the different real estate pieces right here, if you fix and flip, what are you going to do with it? I'm going to take it and do it again. But your goal is to create a whole bunch of orchards. Here's all my real estate. And so here's all my rental units. And I got a whole bunch of them. And then when you get to a certain age, then you're going to say, I'm going to invest with partners to do that. But your goal is to create a whole orchard, multi-level marketing. That's a whole orchard that's making money. My fix and flips, I make money with it. My businesses, I got multiple businesses. What am I doing? I'm creating a whole orchard of money trees. The wealthy have a whole orchard of money trees, and they got multiple orchards. And guess what? Those money trees make you money. Now let's talk about business just for a second. Business. Now there's three things that you can do. There's only three ways that you can make more money. Number one, you need more customers. Number two, you need your customers to buy more often. And number three, they need to buy more every time they buy. Most people concentrate on number one, and that's all they do. But if somebody comes in here and you've got a customer, and we're just going to use this with one person, the customer walks in and they spend 100 of something. If I can get them to buy 2 times a month, now my revenue is 200. And then instead of spending $100, I'm going to get them to buy $200 times 2 times a month. Now my revenue is 400. So if I got one customer and he's spending $100, I made 100. But if I can get them to buy more often, come in the store twice a month, now I've got 200. Now if I can get him to buy more every time he does it, that's 400. You just 4x'd your business. So because of time, I want you to be able to go through these wonderful classes. We got all these wonderful classes. And again, there's all these great classes by all these great guys that I just showed you. So there's all kinds of sections on that. Now, let's talk about real estate for just a second. Real estate. There are 5 F's. You need to find good deals. That is the hardest thing to do. And guess what? You don't have to have money to do that. You need to find stuff right there. You need to fund it. Now, it doesn't need to be your money. It doesn't need to be your money. It can be other people's money. You can be a partner. You can be a family member. I'm in organizations where we as investors, we fund a lot of these big deals and they bring in hundreds of millions of dollars. So I started with a little bit. Now I've moved up to a lot. You need to fix the problem. What's the problem with it? And then you're either going to flip or you're going to farm. Okay. Those are the first 5. You're going to find it, you're going to fund it, and you're going to fix it. And then you're going to either flip it or you're going to farm it. You're going to do it on a rental. So I did both of these, and those are in my books. You're welcome to go through those books and understand those. Business really works on the same 5 steps. There's the 5 F's, the 5 F's. Now I'm going to show you just one example how we did our long-term wealth. We did a lot of fix and flip, and then we took that money and we reinvested it into longer-term properties. But this is how I made $10 million. Made $10 million by doing this one technique, and this is how we gave $3 million to the foundation. You want to know how the foundation got funded? Was through real estate and through those businesses. Now, what did I do? Now, my first little property that I did, I found this little property that was worth $80,000. Now, you're going to laugh, but this was over 40 years ago. I knew it was worth 80,000, but the seller had bought it for 30. Add zeros. This could be just add zeros to it. It's the percentages that's important, not the other stuff. And so he bought it for 30 and it doubled. And so I was able to buy it for 60. I don't care. You add zeros to it, whatever. And so the deal was is that I came up with $5,000 down. Where are you going to get the money? Well, you get it from a partner, you get it from a family member, you get it from your dentist. And then the 55,000 that I owed him, I was going to pay at 10% for 15 years. And the payment was $591 a month. The rent was $800 a month. So it barely had enough to pay for itself. Now, when we bought it, we got the first month, we got the deposits when we bought it, and we also got the first month's rent. So I got 800 bucks there and 800 bucks there. That's $1,600. So my total down payment was only $3,400 down. Okay. Now, you're probably not that excited about that, but guess what? There was enough rent coming in. This was smart debt. This was smart debt. This was smart debt. But over 15 years, guess what? It paid for itself. It paid for itself. Now, this little property we bought for 60, we held it for 40 years and we gave it to the foundation for 490,000. So I bought them for 60 and over 40 years, it went up from 60 to 490 and we donated that. We donated that to the foundation. And I did that exact same thing over and over and over again. I would buy a unit that had 3 or 4 units to it for $250,000. This is how I made $10 million. It went up to be worth over $500,000 in value. Was it fun? No. Was it fun managing property? No. Was it fun kicking people out? No. Was it fun fixing up their crap? No. Was it worth it? Yes. So I put zero down on these. Zero down or a small down, 5,000, 10,000, whatever it was. Some of the best deals I ever did is when I came in with all cash, but this is how we made $10 million. So they went up in value. They went up in value to 500,000. The loans went from 250 to zero. My profit in each one of those properties was $500,000. It took 30 years 30 years to get there. But I did that and we made 500 grand. I bought them for 250. Over 30 years, they went up in value to be worth 500,000. The loans went from 250 down to zero. I made 500,000 and I had 20 of them. That's how I made $10 million. And then we donated 3 of it to the foundation. We donated that. And we'll donate more. That's just one technique that I did over and over and over and over and over again. All right. So we did an awful lot of fixing. We did a lot of flips. So we'd find it, we'd fix it, we'd flip it, and then I'd take that extra money and I'd roll it again and roll it again and roll it again. But that's all down here in number 6. Guess what? I had all these rental units here. Those are all money trees. The rich are getting richer because they do things that the poor are not. So that's step number 6. And there's wonderful classes on here. The ones I recommend that you go through, ones I recommend you go into my book. So where's the resources? Is in the 7 Habits book. Number 2 is Robert Allen, the Road to Wealth. That is wonderful. Multiple streams of income. Wonderful book. Mark Harrelson, Wake Up the Financial Genius. And John Lee, all that new material. This is where you're going to learn it. This is where you learn it. You just got to go through it. Now, step number 7. This is the most important part. Number 7 is the wealth formula. What is the wealth formula? Well, let me just tell you a little story, and then you can see where I learned it. Guys, I didn't make this stuff up. I learned this stuff from my family. I learned this stuff from my dad. When I was a kid, I was like 14, 15 years of age, and I was helping my dad fix up and paint this little house that was next door to where I grew up. And it was hot. I wasn't having any fun. And I said, Dad, can I get paid, to do this work? And he said, no, son, get back to work. And a little while later, I says, Dad, you sure I can't get paid for scraping this old paint and repainting this house? And he says, son, we bought this house so we'd have enough money to help you kids get through college. Now, as an early teen, I didn't really care about college about that much. And he could see that wasn't the answer I was looking for. And then he came back and he says, son, did you know that some people make so much money off of their businesses, their real estate, and their investments that they don't have a job? All they do is manage those things. Where do you think I got the wealth formula? It was a seed that my dad planted 40, sorry, 50 years ago. 50 years ago. My mentors have been that valuable to me. My dad was wonderful. And we didn't just talk about it, we did it. I remember being a teenager and I had my own stock account. And I was investing in stocks as an early teen. I had my own small businesses. I went door to door selling Christmas cards. I used to ride my bike out to a truck stop and I washed dishes at a truck stop. And as I made my money, my dad helped me and we took that money and I was making 12% on my money, loaning it out. And so I learned these things not by my dad talking about it. We did it. So that's why we're so aggressive in having you do the different things that we want you to be able to do. And that's why that the foundation, we have the one fund where we give out all of the financial rewards is really based after my mom and dad. It's named after them. The giving side of that is based after my in-laws, Boyd and Merlene Ivy. But my mom and dad, Jim and Zoma Painter, the big fund, that's what it's named after. So that is the 7 steps, but let's get back and really get into this last one right here. This is number 7, the wealth formula. This is what's key. This is where you're going. You need to take money from your business and your businesses, your real estate and your job. And every time we want them to be making money, we want them to have their own investment accounts. They're all making money. The goal is to make money and put money away on a monthly basis. Okay, from all of these. And they could be separate accounts, it doesn't really matter. But if you want to get wealthy, this is the formula. You need to do that times have it go up in value. It's got to go up in value. You can't put your money in a savings account and expect it to go anywhere. You've got to put it in long-term stock. You got to put it in other things that's making you money times time. It's going to take a little time to do this, and that equals wealth. Now, if you want to get wealthy faster, you need to put more money in faster, or you need to get a higher rate of return. But remember, every rate has risk, or you need to do it for a longer period of time. If you want it to be more, you just got to add more. Get a better rate of return or time. If you want to shrink the time, you need to put more into it. Okay, that's it. That's the formula. That is the formula. Wow. As my kids would say, that's great, Dad, but that's more information that I want to know. Now, why do we give you all this stuff and go into great detail on it? Well, because that's your plan. Number 1, it's got to fit on the back of an envelope. 7 steps. Make more money. Manage it on one piece of paper. Give it. Invest it. Save and spend. That'll help you be financially free. Why don't you be wealthy? We need to add real estate and businesses. And we need to do the wealth formula. Now, you could get over here if you can 3x your income. If you got a job and we can figure out a 3x it, well, you don't need to do the other ones. We highly recommend that you do the real estate because you need the tax benefits of it. But that's the system. And the funnest part is giving it away. And I got the toys. I got a Ferrari. I've got all kinds of toys and stuff like that. But, they're not on the bucket list anymore. I hardly drive them at all. It's in your lifetime, you need to do your bucket list. In fact, bucket list first, then the 7 habits and the 7 steps. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? I've been all over the world. I've been to 50 countries. I went around the world with my three of my kids. We went east and never stopped. Went all the way around the world in one trip. It took about 5-6 weeks. I've been to 50 countries, been all over China, been all over India. And we do a lot of that kind of stuff. That's been on your bucket list, all kinds of stuff with cars. But you know what's the funnest part? Is giving it away and seeing how this is making a dent in your life. So I'm going to ask you to join us in the Success Money Foundation. We are a network of best-selling authors, educators, and entrepreneurs, but more importantly, we're a network of individuals. We're a network of parents. We're a network of teachers, and we're all dedicated to help you have a better life. And more importantly, is to help you help your family have a better life. In closing, I'm going to tell you one quick story. In 1984, my mom and dad, I'm one of 10 kids. All right, there's seven of us boys. I'm one of 10 kids. My dad joked that my mom and dad were so poor that they didn't have any money for entertainment. And so they ended up with 10 kids. Figure that one out. Anyway, in 1984, my mom and dad had 12 grandchildren. And my dad and my grandfather started in the car business, and my uncle. And they started by fixing up old cars. They would go out into the fields and to little towns that were around there and knocked on doors. Do you have an old car that we need that could be fixed up? We could buy. And they would buy these old cars, fix them up, and resell them. And eventually, we got a car dealership. Um, Tough business, tough business. But I learned a lot from my dad by actually doing it, by growing up and doing it. But he decided, my mom and him and my older brother Pat decided that they wanted to start funding and giving money trees to their grandchildren. At the time, they only had 12 grandchildren. And they started putting money away for every one of these grandchildren. And they put it into an investment account or a sub account, and it grew. And it grew. So when a kid was born, they would open up an account and they put a money tree in there. They put a money tree, and then they would grow it and they would water it and they would take care of it. And then when that grandchild or great grandchildren reached age 21, they could take that money out. They could use it for real estate. They could use it for their schooling if it made them more money, or businesses or whatever, or just put it, or now you got to be responsible for your investment account. And when my mom and dad both passed away, they had 70 grandchildren and great grandchildren. Guess what? They all have investment accounts. They all have investment accounts. They planted a money tree for them that they loved. I'm doing the same thing. All my kids have investment accounts. They all have retirement accounts. My grandkids have retirement accounts. You know, that's your legacy. That's your legacy. That's why you're here. You're here to be able to have a better life. You're here to help your family have a better life. You're here to help your family and friends have a better life. And the secrets are, if you learn, earn, and return, you got to do those things. And if you'll do that, it'll work. So, on behalf of my wife and I, and all of us that are working in the foundation and helping get this to the next level, make a difference, make it happen. Remember that every life is precious. This has been Tom Painter from the SuccessMoneyFoundation.org.